Item 10B, receive oral report from the San Bruno Community Foundation Board President on the board's progress and activities.
Good evening. Mayor Ruane, members of the council, I'm Nancy Krause. I'm your appointed first president of the board of directors of the new San Bruno Community Foundation. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here this evening to present this report to you. If I may please first introduce other appointed members to this board. Vice President John McLaughlin, Treasurer Ben Cohn, Secretary Emily Roberts, Directors Patricia Baum and Frank Headley. Not able to be with us this evening is Dr. Regina Standback Stroud, who had a previous commitment. On behalf of the board, it is a pleasure to provide you this evening with a brief overview of the Foundation's activities since the Council appointed the new board and officers nearly 1 year ago. We preface these remarks with an acknowledgement of your leadership and tenacity in the aftermath of the tragedy that occurred in San Bruno 4 years ago. You are to be applauded for pursuing on behalf of an entire community wounded by the tragedy the restitution from PG&E of $70 million, and for establishing the new foundation to oversee distribution of this fund to benefit all of San Bruno. And the board acknowledges with deep appreciation the untiring support of the city manager, the city attorney, their staff, and consultants who have worked with the board to get the foundation up and running. Most importantly, we appreciate the trust and confidence that the City Council has placed in this new board. We value your comments and continuing to coordinate with you going forward. All of us, the board, the City Council, and the entire community are anxious and look forward to the Foundation's ability to get on with its important responsibility to engage with the community, to develop grant-making policies, and to begin making decisions about the use of the funds. Not only is the nature of the San Bruno Community Foundation unprecedented, but as you know, both the Council and the Foundation took on the responsibility of a startup effort. That is, operating a foundation is a new concept for the Council, for the board, and for the community. There has been much work to accomplish in order to get the foundation fully operational. While this work has taken a number of months and is still continuing, the board recognized at the onset of our appointment that we would need to invest considerable time in developing, on behalf of the council and the community, strategic and organizational policies and procedures to build the framework that would ensure that the best interests of the community are being served by the foundation and the purpose for which it was created by the council. The board assumed office last December, and since that time, we have conducted 5 regularly scheduled meetings, 3 Saturday workshops to receive orientation in a number of areas critical to board leadership and responsibility, and 1 facilitated study session. Because the board is a supporting organization to the city, each of these meetings was properly agendized in accord with the open meeting requirements of the Brown Act. And because the board is governed by the Brown Act, it cannot meet without giving 72 hours notice to the public, which can have an impact on the rate of progress, as you well know. The board meets on the 3rd Thursday of the month at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall. Agendas and minutes of board meetings are available to the community on the City of San Bruno website so that board's progress and action can be followed. The board is committed to being open and accessible to the community and looks forward to hiring an executive director to help develop an engagement process with the community. In the interim, the board encourages the community to attend our monthly meetings to follow the board's progress. Briefly, I would like to share with you highlights of the work accomplished by the board in the short time period since we assumed these roles. Board orientation and development to assist the board in taking on the formulation of a new foundation. The lengthy preparation and filing of the IRS 501c3 application to obtain federally recognized nonprofit status, including development of a 3-year budget, which the council approved this past June. Adoption of a variety of essential board policies, including conflict of interest, document retention, and rules of procedure. establishing procedures to address, for example, meeting and agenda preparation, the handling of correspondence, formulation of committees, election of officers, and so forth. Again, because starting a foundation is a new concept for all of us, the board, the council, and the community, none of these guidelines and precedents were in place when we assumed office. The board has had to formulate them. Further, we have defined parameters for recruitment of an executive director for the foundation, and the board has tried to be present in the community at various activities. On the horizon for the board is the annual election of officers, adoption of policies and procedures governing communications, branding, website development, and most importantly, adopting financial and investment strategies, along with identifying grant-making goals and procedures to provide enduring benefits to the San Bruno community. The board anticipates having an executive director in place by the beginning of the year, with whom the board will work in company with the city and the broader community to develop a strategic plan for the foundation, which will incorporate cultivating an understanding of the foundation's best and distinct role in the community and the design for measures of accomplishment. At the heart and soul of any organization is its mission and vision, and crafting and adopting such statements is the board's most recent accomplishment. The board is charged with providing allegiance to a purpose statement that the City Council wrote into the foundation bylaws. Indeed, one of the board study sessions was dedicated to discussing the intent of that statement. In moving forward, the Council may wish to provide the board with more clarity about its intent with specific wording in the purpose statement, as this is critical to the future development of investment and grant-making strategies, as well as with the board's strategic planning. I am privileged to serve on this board with colleagues who have demonstrated considerable dedication and commitment of time to developing a foundation that has a solid operational base from which to serve the community effectively and efficiently, and who subscribe to a philosophy that is grounded in communication and collaboration. The board continues to value the trust the council has vested in us by appointing us to oversee the restitution settlement that the city pursued on behalf of a damaged community. It is our privilege to serve the city as stewards of this fund and of the council's interests on behalf of our special community. The board looks forward to future opportunities and interaction with the council and to keeping the council and community informed and engaged in the foundation's progress. Thank you so much for accepting this report.
Thank you, Nancy. Any questions for Nancy? This for us as a council is a one-off also. I mean, we sat with PG&E a number of months ago and said, this city is a victim. And the reply I got was, what do you mean? And then we went on from there. So $70 million, the equivalent of that, is an awful lot of money. But it was a new experience for us too. What do? When was the last time that a municipality has had restitution from a large utility? In this type of effort, we couldn't find any precedent. So you are precedent setting, this group is, we all are, and it's going to bring some wonderful things to the city of San Bruno in the coming months and years. I can't say enough about the process of going through and interviewing. We had over 80 applicants, I believe, and narrowed it down in a difficult way to the 7 of you. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that we've all done because we got the cream of the cream. So I know you're dealing with a lot of issues now because they're all special things that you can't go to page 3, item 2 and say this is what we do. A lot of it has to be sort of invented and discovered and worked through. So the only observation I would make going forward is I think for, and this is just my idea, for continuity going forward as far as management, that you leave your leadership positions in place until at least you hire the executive director and that he or she gets their feet wet. I wouldn't want to see any break in continuity as far as the leadership of this goes, because I think so far it's done very, very well. So personally, I want to congratulate all of you for the very, very hard work that you've put yourselves into. It's an honor and a privilege to work with all of you and to see what we're all going to get out of this. It's exciting for the city. Something good, as I've said, on a lot of different ways along this has to come out of this terrible tragedy. This happens to be one of them. So, anyone else?
Thank you.
Just like to say, Madam President, very good report. The entire board, I know all of you, and in just a few minutes that you've given this report, it's just amazing how much stuff you have to deal with and, what's ahead of you. So press on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all very, very much.
Thank
We
you
look
again for
forward
having
to
us. Thank you so
getting
much.
more progress updates and stuff.
Our pleasure.
It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you.